21 up here, but boy, Schraner's off to a fly. Bridgie, it's this is a hot start. Just picking up that one there.
He won't relent.
No.
And if anything, he'll probably get better as the game goes on. That's the scary thing. You know, he'll come out of the blocks. He's come out of the blocks pretty hard, but he just won't relent.
And as you can see, traditional ditch to ditch here from Lee. I know, having played the pairs with him the last year, and lucky enough to win it in triples this year, and every event I've played with him, if you don't get the jack on the tee and the mat in the right spot, it's the only time you'll see him frustrated. He
plays either ditch to ditch or cricket pitch. Nothing in between.
Correct. Yeah. He doesn't believe in that 26 metre length. He just it's either 21 or it's the maximum, which is good to see. You know, really, maximum's a good length to play. It's as it's worked for Leroy. You can see it gets on top of people. Takes people a few ends to adjust to it, and I seen the other day an interesting fact. Lee said he'd never throw short. If he's winning an end, he'd never throw short. The other day he broke that. He was playing a game of singles, and his opponent, I can't remember who it was, but just started to get on top of him a little bit on the ditch to ditch. So Leroy's he's thrown a 21 metre length and got a 4 on it. So it's good to see, you know, having played ditch to ditch for how long, can adjust to a 21 metre length. It just goes to show that he's a quality player and that he's got the talent in the world.
What did he throw after the end that he got the 4 on? He went back to ditch to ditch?
He did go back to ditch to ditch.
Wouldn't be surprised if he did.
He went back to ditch to ditch and dropped 1, and he said, well, that was a silly move to make.
He overthought it.
He did, yeah.
Murray's in with a chance here. Let's slide off this. Oh, okay, so it's not running for him.
Yeah.
He's looking up into the sky over there, which is up into the roof here at Shep Park. Looking for some divine intervention, but he's playing against a bloke here that's got the right hand of God. So he's... I just love watching him play. I think it's fantastic.
I think he's a great attribute for lawn bowls in general. It's definitely really good for all the juniors to come up and watch a great person. And
he is human, though.
He is human. Funny thing from the week that's just happened, I've had 19 people ask me throughout the week whether him and I are brothers. 19 people have come up and asked that.
Is that right?
That is right. And I said, well, if I've got half the ability that he did, I'd be very, very happy. But once again, he's just a great person, a lifetime friend, my best mate. Just wish him all the best in the tournament throughout.
I think you're being a bit unkind to yourself there, Brad. You've got plenty of talent in your own right, mate. You've gone fairly deep in a lot of disciplines here. So, and I think also with the men's triples final, a chance of picking up another Vic Open championship to add to the mixed pair, to the men's pairs that you won with Leroy last year.
Yeah, it's always good to win, but I suppose it's probably extra special for myself. Playing with my best mate, you know, you want to win, and we were completely unsuccessful last year in the triples, completely unsuccessful. So it's just good to actually get through our section this year in the triples, which was good.
Well, what's Nathan Murray do here? He's looked to the heavens for divine intervention.
Well, he's playing what I would class here as a tighter line with a bit of weight to try and pick the jack up for a super trail, but he's frustrated.
Yeah. It's hard not to be. It's so. It must be so frustrating when you're putting down really, really good bowls as he was a bit earlier on, and then Leroy's just putting one better down.
He's taking his dose of Schraner like so many other people will during this event. Like he's such a good player.
And to Nathan's credit, you know, Nathan's a well-accomplished player, winning Richmond Union singles, as you've probably touched on.
Yeah, correct.
So it just goes to show that even the best against this man seem to just... He's just got his ways, Lee, and it's a credit to him.
Yeah.
It's a credit to him. When he gets in the zone, he's just in the zone.
Here we go. He's got the mat right back, and we're within, 2'6" of the 2 metre mark?
He'd be unhappy by that.
Yeah. Yeah. That was another 2 then, so we've got 13-0.
Yeah, 13-0. Wow. And he's in irresistible form, Lee Schraner. He was dubbed last year by a few people on Twitter the Schraner-nator.
Look at this.
And
all you can do is just clap. As I said, after the first 3 days of playing with him, I had sore hands, and as you can see why. It's
surprisingly though, you don't hear much reaction from the crowd. You know why? I think they expect it.
Well, I watch every game that he plays, and I don't clap his bowls.
Yeah.
He knows he's played a good bowl, you know, and I don't want to. When he hears people clapping, he listens to them. He doesn't. He's in the zone. So, as his book is,
I think he'd block himself out though to that.
Yeah.
He's been around for quite a long period of time.
Player would be able to block things out.
I think there's also a sense of awe watching him play as well. I think seriously, I think people are watching going, you're kidding.
He's like a snooker player too. He's always one shot ahead of the game. He's thinking here, getting behind, not getting close. Murray's really looking at trying to grab that jack to play a shot to convert to get numbers rather than trying to get one shot to win an end.
We played the pairs the other day and we were 1 down on the head, and Leroy said draw to the tee, and I said, well, I did it. I'm not going to say no to Lee Schraner, but I did it, and after the end we got 3 on the tee, and he said, well, as you can see, in 3-bowl pairs you don't need shot after the first 3, you just need good position.
Absolutely.
And that's something we've touched on a bit during this telecast as well, and certainly in the triples game, the women's triples that we saw earlier, a lot of it's about position.
He's playing a smart game here by getting a very, very close bowl and then just beating his opponent's nearest bowl. The game plan is perfect.
I've heard a few comments around the place this week, and it's been it's like watching Lee Schraner is some form of meditation for some people, and I completely understand why. He's just...
So he predicted that shot and put that bowl in, and he still got the shot. Like, you know, that's smart bowls.
As you said, Bridgie 1 step ahead.
Oh yeah, look, there's a lot of strategy about playing good singles. You see a lot of blokes go out there to try and smother the jack and make big targets and wonder why they get beaten because they get too close. This bloke is just... He's one of the best I've seen.
What word sums him up?
I think his absolute consistency. I think that's the key to him. He's virtually unflappable. He doesn't lose his cool much. He's in total control. He thinks about the game. He's very much a plotter. You expect him to draw the shot. You don't hope for him to draw the shot. You know, that's the thing. He's such a good complete singles player. Okay, what's he doing here?
Looks tight.
Yeah. Oh wow. It's interesting. Did he ask the marker if he had the shot? Or did he know he didn't have the shot?
No, I know Lee previously, before Lee's last bowl, asked if he had shot, and the umpire suggested it was 1 to Lee.
Well, it's conceded, so
and
that's
it is 1 to Lee.
14.
14-0, Lee Schraner over Nathan Murray. Just a reminder, our Steller Vic Open live coverage is brought to you by Aussie Gutter Protection. Protecting Australian roofs for the past 17 years. Call 1300 885525 or go to aussiegutterprotection.com.au to find out more. It's 14-0 to Schraner. Just bringing you up to date with the men's semi-final going on the adjoining rink over here. 8 apiece between Ben Hubber and Mitch Sidebottom. That's a semi-final. This is a quarter-final. Schraner versus Murray. And there's a bit of action in the Sidebottom. Hubber, in fact, Sidebottom has picked up a shot there, so he's taken a 9-8 lead, we can tell you, in that semi-final. Winner of that one through to the final, winner of this through to a semi-final. And Lee Schraner holding all the cards right now. 14-0 over Nathan Murray.
Better have a word to him on that one, Brad. That's a loose bowl for Lee.
Yeah, he won't be happy by that. He's cut the track by close to 3 foot and he's a couple of feet through, so he won't be happy with that in himself, but as soon as you let it go, he forgets about it. Expect him to correct his bowl with a, I'll predict a toucher.
And he is a very good corrector of a bowl. He doesn't very often play 2 loose bowls at the same time. Got his track pretty right, but he's just at that little metre over. Not wasted there though. When you're a good converting player, as he is, get those balls in the catching pen there, and he can trail that jack if Nathan Murray gets something jack high or sits on the jack.
Well, as Lee calls it, a scoring zone. I've come to terms with the scoring zone over the last few years of playing bowls with him.
Oh,
good shot there from Nathan.
Just didn't cover the jack. Still, Lee can see it. It's danger zone. It's toucher time.
Well, you've called it, Bridgie. Let's see how you go.
Don't think he's there. That's a rarity.
Okay, chance for Nathan Murray to get something here.
Just doesn't want to sit anything out on the side. That would be a big mistake. He's flipping over to the forehand, leaving that open there, so Lee's got to play the perfect bowl with nothing to come off.
The body language tells you he doesn't like that.
Yes, he's thrown the arm, which is a suggestion that it's wide, which it looks.
That's a down the drain too. So I said we've been watching all the games during the day. When they swap over from this ditch side to the inside of the green, there's definite marked difference in pace and also in line.
I found that the yesterday in playing the mixed pairs, the forehand going away from the other green is a lot quicker than the backhand. Leroy looks close here. He doesn't often run after a bowl, but
he's just going to drop a bit short. It's a good second shot though. Now Murray's going to get on the card here, so that's what he needs.
There we go, and the crowd loves that.
Big Mitch side bottom. Have a look at the size of him. Gosh.
Yeah, well, Mitch Sidebottom is a cousin to Steele Sidebottom.
Okay, footballer.
Yeah, he's a footballer at Midiamo in the Loddon Valley Football League, close to Bendigo.
And Mitch holding a 9-8 lead over Ben Hubber in the men's singles semi-final in the adjoining rink here. At the moment, it's all Lee Schraner here, but Nathan Murray will get on the board here, just with one.
Yeah.
But he's on. And there's a bit of cheering going on there. And
in fairness to say, this will not be ditch to ditch.
Well, if it is, it's suicide because he's throwing back Lee's favourite length, so he wouldn't really want to do that, would he? Considering where he is at the moment.
It's great to have Brad Marron joining us in commentary. You're with Graeme Bridge. Brad Marron, my name's Guy Hand, and you're with Bowls Victoria's live stream coverage of the Steller Vic Open's men's singles quarter final.
And we're going to get another ditch-to-ditch length because Nathan Murray didn't roll the jack and keep it on the green.
Well, the poor fella wouldn't know what the jack is, rolling a jack is at this stage.
But he hasn't picked it up for 9 ends.
He's gotten Leroy in form.
Yeah.
And after last year's final, when Leroy was on the receiving end of a clinical display from Flapper, yeah, I don't think he would. He had memories of being on the live stream in singles, and he said to me just earlier that he wasn't going to get held to 5 again. So he's already he's almost tripled that, which is a good start in the race to 21. So let's see if you can continue it.
It's a good start here by Nathan Murray. That's where he's got to be.
Really good shot.
But he really wants to be covering the entire jack. When Lee can see the jack, he's in the zone.
Speaking of in the zone, Lee's book that he's released is called In the Zone. And as you said, Bridgie, this one looks in the zone. Wow.
That is something else.
As I say, it's beautiful to watch. It's draw shot bowls. It's fantastic. You're seeing a bloke here that's got total control of his delivery. He knows what he's doing. You're seeing a master and an apprentice here. And look, all the good to Nathan. He's a good prospect for the future. But he's going to come away from this learning a little bit about how to play the game.
Well, it's not over yet. 7 shots are still hard to get against a quality opposition in Nathan. As you said, he just needs to peg it back one at a time. I know Lee's in hot form, but Nathan knows his ability. We all know Nathan's ability. He's a great player, great person for the game. Obviously he's got here on the back of good wins, so he knows what he has to do, and he'll believe in himself. You know, everyone should believe in Nathan, a good quality player. This one looks...
Got a chance here, but he might be just a bit quick. Just trying to get that last bit of bend. Good bowl.
Got shot, you think, or not quite?
Nah,
not quite.
Bowls the shot.
No.
I think Lee might still be holding shot.
Lee's definitely holding shot. Just having a quick look over away from the monitor now, and yes.
It certainly looks like he's still holding shot, but we're only sitting in these chairs up here. Angles are different.
Particularly at that end, Brad. It's particularly tricky from that end for us to make it out, but I just taking a little meerkat periscope up, you can see that he's definitely got shot there.
Might not be the closest end for shot, but it's the closest grouping out of the bowls that have been played so far. There's 6 bowls there that are all within, good couple of feet of the jack.
Can play a good shot here for 3, Nathan. I think he's a bit on the wide side, does he? Ooh. Was that the shot to play, Bridgie?
I think the shot there was to just try and draw to the jack or sit the bowl. If he sat the bowl, he would have made 3.
Yeah.
He only had to turn it over once. He probably played that with a couple of metres too much, I'd say.
Yep.
Didn't want to be short, obviously, but yeah, just probably should have thought about casting it out a little bit with a little less weight and let it come back to the bowl. He did finish around it too. That side there, the inside of the green, a lot harder to play those little sit shots. You think the bowl's going to come and it actually runs that little bit straight for a couple of feet.
Yeah, I noticed that last year.
This is the drawing side that Lee's on here on this forehand. That's just a perfectly constant draw on that side. It's not whippy, it's taken a bit of draw. That other side's just a bit straighter. I'd say that's another one to Lee.
I think it might be one to Nathan. No,
okay.
It's one to Lee.
Yep. No, so Lee Schraner definitely picked up shot there. So 15-1. Lee in the race to 21. Lee Schraner, he's got the afterburners on.
He's in the race to another game, isn't he? Hasn't he got another one after this? Or?
He does, I believe.
It's mixed pairs after this.
Mixed pairs, so he's still alive in the mixed pairs, still alive in the men's triples, still alive in the men's singles.
And you could probably say I've let him down in the men's pairs.
What does become very interesting for Lee Schraner here, gents, is that he and Lisa Phillips are probably going head-to-head for the Vic Medal here. Now, the Vic Medal is awarded to the best performed bowler across all disciplines in the tournament. It can be won by male or female. It's a one-off. There's no male, no female. So best performed bowler across all disciplines, and Lee's got to be right in the conversation here. I think it's him or Lisa, really.
Well, he is still in 3 events, which certainly helps the advantage of that. And unfortunately, Lisa was beaten in the singles this morning. So it probably puts Lee in the Winks category, as in unbackable odds, I would say, for the Vic medal, if he goes on to win these last remaining games that he's in.
Yeah.
I'd say the book will close tonight.
And that said, if he wins this quarter-final here, then he's in a pretty good place, by the way the point system works, which works on high points for semi-finals and for finals. So he would definitely be looking pretty good if he can get up here, and he's certainly in pole position to do that.
And look, it's on, obviously, rooming with him. It's on his mind, the Vic medal, but as he said, he's not worried about it.
No.
He knows it's there, but he just wants to show that he's still got something to prove, and show everyone watching that follows him. I know his mum will be back home watching. Sally down at Melton there, she'll be watching. He just wants to show that he's still got something to prove, which I think he's already shown last month up in Darwin.
He sticks to his guns on one side of the green, Lee. That's one thing you've got to admire on him. His forehand in one direction, backhand in the opposite direction, but on the same side of the green.
Well, he gave me a good tip in singles. He said, stick to the one hand, get your line and your weight. If you change your hands, you're a fool.
Well, you're only really
Sounds
doing
simple,
it when you're
doesn't
desperate.
it?
Yeah.
Sounds simple.
It's the right philosophy. Good shot there.
Attacking here from Nathan. And if you were Nathan in this situation, what would you be thinking?
Keep plugging away. It's definitely going to take something out of this. And seeing what he's got to actually physically do to get that level of consistency like this, because this is mechanical. I think the other thing he's also got to think about is this is just one game. It's not as if it's, he's not going to go out and play like this all the time. He's a good player, he's a quality player, he's won a big event. He hasn't learnt anything here in playing the second bowl the same. I question his shot selection there. I think that was desperation. That's 2.
2 more for Lee Schraner there, so he takes a 17-1 lead. It's first 21 here, it's 21 up.
Springboard.
In the men's singles quarter-final, we can tell you, in the men's singles semi-final being played on the adjoining rink, Mitch Sidebottom holding a 12-9 lead over Ben Hubber.
I said before the game to Leroy, I told him my prediction for this match, in no disrespect to Nathan at all. Just watching the way Lee's played over the last couple of weeks, I said the score would be 21-6. So obviously he's heard me and wants to prove me wrong here.
Mm-hmm. When you go out to play singles, you go out there with a focus and a vision that you don't want your opponent to score.
Well, that's obviously the aim, is to win the ends, but...
Yeah. Well, you got that as a mindset. This is the sort of bloke that can deliver that, because if you're getting your bowls consistently in that area that Lee's getting them in, you're not going to lose many games.
That's exactly right.
I reckon if Nathan puts a really close bowl down, he should follow it down and just roar out to the crowd. Just let off a bit of steam.
Well,
a bit of body language,
something needs to change.
Absolutely.
He's just in a robot mode
Oh,
Lee.
Have a look at his focus.
Delivery is exactly the same every bowl.
Look at his stare up the green.
His stare is second to none. It's funny you say about his look and his stare. Earlier on, when Dylan went down, Lee was just about to start playing, and obviously, because we're playing in the triples together and we're all good mates, Lee was a bit shaken by seeing Dylan go down, which is unfortunate, and so he went outside and had a smoke. And as soon as the broadcast went over that you may now commence your game, his face just totally switched. And that's one thing that anyone can give Lee credit for, is when he's told he's playing, his mindset is completely 100% on the green and what job lies ahead.
Nathan thinks about this on his backhand. He's got a shot there. If he's tight, he sits through that last bowl Lee played. If he's a little bit wide, gone for the weight option.
Bigger. Might get that. Well, I think Nathan's. It looks as though he's sort of given up within himself.
I think he's shattered.
Which he would be very shattered. Very shattered. You sort of feel sorry for him. He's hitting Lee in full force, and Lee's not one to lay down for anyone, and unfortunately Nathan's just the next opponent in his eyes.
It's just been an extraordinary display of precision bowls from Lee Schraner here. Oh, this is just world-class stuff, and wherever you are watching from, we hope you're watching and we hope you're taking notes. We hope that something in this can help you come Saturday, because seriously, this is a clinic.
This is his 48th bowl in the match, and out of the 48 that he's played, you'd be hard-pressed to count his bad bowls on one hand.
Yeah, very good point, Bridgie.
And that's just precision. Look at this. That is perfection. He is holding nearly 4 shots there.
Yeah, certainly 3.
Could this be the game?
It could be. He has to do something.
What's he
He's gone the big shot. He's going to get something.
Yep.
He's going to get something.
He's got the jack.
Great shot.
Is the jack going out of bounds?
No, I don't think so. I think it's still in.
It's out of bounds. The umpire is the marker has suggested.
We'll be respotting. So we respot. So Lee will get something here.
It must have hit the jack in the ditch and rolled through the edge of the ditch stuff. Oh, God.
Yeah, so there we go. So Lee Schraner looks like he's picked up 1 shot. Just a reminder, at the Vic Open, we respot the jack on the tee. So that's 1 to Lee Schraner. He leads 18-1. He's in irresistible form, unstoppable form.
Don't shake his hand at the end of the game, you'll burn your fingers.
It's a good thing they got a roof on the joint. He might float out of here. He's in the rarefied air at the moment.
Yeah. Good-o. I love seeing it.
You asked Bridgie this question before, and I'll ask you, Brad, as well. What do you do if you're Nathan Murray here?
Well, I've never been one to be any good in singles, but if I was Nathan, you just got to stick to your guns. You just got to try and back yourself to draw. He knows his ability once again. Nathan's obviously a great player, so you just got to maybe Nathan change hands, play the backhand, going in this direction, take the hand off him. You just got to try and stick to your guns and go back on the draw. We played Nathan this morning in triples out on ring 10, and look, that game we just got over the line, but Nathan played a really good bowls. So no doubt he's got the ability. He just needs to execute and believe in himself that he's good enough.
That's for sure. Well, if he does hold a shot, if I was him, I'd follow it up on follow it up to the head and lie on the green in front of the head and just say to Lee, now get the shot. And he'd probably do it.
Just across in the men's semi-final being played on the adjoining rink, just bringing him up to date. Mitch Sidebottom is holding a 13-9 lead over Ben Hubber. That's a quarter. That's a semi. This is a quarter final here between Lee Schraner and Nathan Murray. Lee Schraner 18-1 up. It's 21 up. Total control for the Tasmanian.
Flicked over onto the forehand here, Nathan. He might have heard you, Brad. He's taken a bit of a different tack.
Well, his grass looks good. He might just be going a little bit. Yes. His line was really good there. What would you do if you were Lee here? Draw another bowl?
Well, I'd put the light out first. Put him under the pressure of holding game.
Yep.
He's got another one to come. I definitely believe you've got to put them under. You've got to put your opponent under pressure and hold game. See whether he or she responds.
Do you think this tournament could be a kickstarter for Leroy in the green and gold again?
It's hard to say. How many events is he in next week in the Australian Championships? Up at Marimbula.
He's elected not to go.
Okay.
To the championships.
Right.
He won the triples.
Right.
The fours, I believe they won.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't win the singles, which is probably the one event I thought he would win.
Yeah, right.
But I think Mikey Sims beat Taylor Mail in the Tasmanian State singles, which is good to see another quality player in Mikey Sims playing in the Victorian Open again.
Mm-hmm. Michael, a winner last year. Sharon Steele in the mixed pairs.
Yep. We played with Michael in the triples last year and we were completely unsuccessful.
Interestingly, Lee and Gail Edwards, I believe, did they knock Sims and Steele out?
Yes, last night here on rink 17, here on the carpet, they played Michael Sims and Sharon Steele, and they happened to beat the defending champions.
Well, he's got 2 for sure, which put him to 20.
Tick-tock.
It's got a pretty good head of steam up.
Tell you what, I think he's on track here. Oh, there we go.
Well played, Nathan Murray.
He's tripled his score.
Needed that.
There we go.
I reckon.
I think there's a prime example there of never give up.
That's exactly right. As I was suggesting, Nathan just had to do what he does best.
3.
He's picked up 3 shots. Boy, did he need them. Nathan Murray, as Bridgie rightly pointed out, triples his score.
Probably
he's
one
18-4 down.
One of the few ends where Leroy's had 2 short bowls and he didn't have anything covering any potential danger. Yeah, and that was left wide open then, and he got it. It was a big trail.
Well, he wouldn't have been happy with having no bowls past the jack then.
Definitely not.
But one thing with Lee, he doesn't show it.
Just a reminder to everybody, our Steller Vic Open live coverage is brought to you by Aussie Gutter Protection. Keeping leaves and debris out of your gutters. Contact Aussie to find out more on 1300 88 5525 or at the website aussiegutterprotection.com.au. I'm probably stating the obvious here, Brad, but it's really Nathan's got to consolidate now, hasn't he? I mean, that little tiny bit of momentum when needed, but he's got to do something here.
Yeah, he does. One thing Lee has really practiced and trained for hard over the last couple of months has been his short ends. Everyone knows Lee is a ditch-to-ditch player, and he found that in his game he had to practice his short ends. So he's a lot better on the shorter length.
He's rolled the short end, but he hasn't capitalised on it. He's got to be disappointed with those two bowls, Nathan. I don't think Lee would be happy with his first one there either.
You can always tell in Lee's body language on his face after he delivers a bowl whether or not he likes it. He gives this cheeky little grin, if you want to call it a grin, if he likes it or not. And yeah, he's always the same. He's very cool, calm and collected, Lee, and another asset to his game.
Some fantastic insight there on Lee Schraner from his regular pairs and triples partner Brad Marron, who's joined us in the commentary.
Good shot here from Nathan.
Does Lee still use a size 3 heavy or a size 4?
3.5.
3.5, okay.
This is the last event he's using with these bowls. One of the bowls has a slight chip in the side of it.
Okay.
But they worked for him up in Darwin, so he said he's going to use them here.
Usually your bowls get chipped if you get them pretty close all the time and everybody's belting them.
Yeah, well, are you suggesting that that's why he's belted?
Oh,
he gets close? Or?
Oh, guarantee that's why they get belted.
Great shot here from Lee.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
That's a difference on that inside of the green that did not come then, that bowl, did it?
He had good weight and almost executed the ultimate result, sitting the bowl. This is a real crucial shot here from Nathan. He must draw another.
He's got to win this end. If he doesn't win this end, it's going to be very, very hard for him to mount a challenge if he doesn't win this one.
Has to win this end.
It's
Nathan's given it away here.
It's quick. Quick. Oh, he's lucky he didn't turn his own bowl out.
Does Lee take this out for the match? He'll come to the head and inspect. And I can say from playing with him, the way he inspects heads, he asked me what I suggest. I suggest and he says, no, I'm playing this. So
there's a perfect guide for him up there on that forehand underneath to sit that bowl straight out with no real risk. He can even drive it out on the backhand.
Well, I'll guarantee you if he's going to drive, it will definitely be forehand. That's one thing I know. He does not drive backhand. He'll go forehand. Big for the bowl here, I would think. I'm not psychic, but I've just got a feeling forehand for the bowl for the match.
Absolutely.
He's close. Got them both.
And it gives him 2, though.
Yes, indeed.
Well, it's definitely 1. Close for the second. Just while they're measuring, it's been another great tournament from Bowls Victoria, and just a real credit to Bowls Victoria getting record entries again. Great tournament to play in, great for spectators. How many spectators are here to watch? It's really good.
It's only 1. It's only 1.
1 to Lee.
He's 1 to Lee, 19-4, and he slowly edges his way towards 21. Yeah, Brad, it's been a terrific tournament, and you're right. We've had record entries of 1,681 entries, 3,000 competitors over 4 days. It's a lot of people. More than 2,300 matches in the Vic Open. It's extraordinary.
It's a lot of matches to cover in just over a week, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a lot.
Well, less than a week, I should say. And it just goes to show that the effort that the men and women of Bowls Victoria put in, I suppose. It's not just run easily, it's a lot of work goes into it from Barb and all the crew, and it's just good to see many bowls clubs out there.
Yeah, you can't do it without the help of all the clubs.
And all the volunteers at the bowls clubs have been sensational with all the lunches over the days of sectional play. So credit to them, and myself as a bowler would like to thank them all.
And they love to hear that. They love to hear that from the players because, you know, without the volleys, the volunteers and the clubs, we haven't got an event.
No, that's right. It doesn't just happen at a click of a fingers. It's months in the books, works up. Same as this live stream. It's a great acquisition to have at the tournament. Really brings, like last year, I know there was people watching from Scotland and all that over the world. It's just really great to see, I suppose. It gets them out.
It's important to show people, showcase the game.
Yeah.
Particularly in Victoria to people outside, and it's a great opportunity for people to make a name for themselves and show themselves and showcase the sport to a bigger audience than it would normally have.
That's exactly right. Change of hands here from Lee. Well, there's the two that he needs.
And what can Nathan do to counter?
Well, he hasn't had much luck there. He's found the hole a couple of times when he really didn't want to.
He's cast it, and I think it might hang out there. He looks to be going a little bit.
Can't be losing your bowl on a draw shot like that. He's flicked the switch back over onto his favourite side.
Oh, I'll guarantee he's got his line. No. It might be where he wanting
Just
it.
a little bit of insurance for him.
I'll back Nathan in to draw the shoggy.
Well, he's definitely quick again.
Not without the jack, he's not. Ooh.
It's the old Swiss cheese.
As you touched on there, Bridgie, the luck has definitely gone against Nathan here.
He was a bit unfortunate there, but he's still just that little bit overweight for the draw shot.
He's flicked the switch for the fourth time here, Lee, and changed again.
I think he's trying to shut the gate.
I think we better mention to him it's not his roll-up, and he can't be changing hands every single bowl.
Well, he's blocked the gap.
It's absolutely working for him. Look at that.
Murray plays the same bowl as his last. He'll get shot now. He'll sit on that.
That's exactly right. This for the match.
I don't think he'll come back from there.
I think we can shake hands.
And that is it. Lee Schraner picks up the 2 shots he needs. It has been clinical. It's been irresistible. And he's been unstoppable. Lee Schraner, 21-4 in his quarter-final over Nathan Murray of Bundoora RSL. The Australian Champion of Champions has been extraordinary. An absolutely extraordinary performance. Just a fantastic performance there with our guest commentators.
Thank you for having us.
Brad Marron and Graeme. Do you guys want to sum that up? It was extraordinary. It was just a really extraordinary performance.
Well, I don't know about you, Bridgie, but for anyone out there that wants any tips on how to play singles, I think we've just seen it. And full credit to Nathan. He was up against it from the very first end, but poor fella's just hit Lee in absolutely smashing form. Let's see.
There'd be one word that'd sum that game up for Lee. That'd be awesome, and he was. And you're going to find it very difficult for any player to beat a player who's in such control of his game as what Lee was then.
He's just looked over and gave me the wink then of approval. So that sums it up for Leroy. He knows it's just, I get quite speechless when, I just talk about him, and he's just an absolute awesome person. And where he was 2 months ago, as I was touching on, I flew over to Tasmania because he was, I can't say any more clearer, but he was close on his deathbed, which I was really emotional about, but I can talk about it now without getting emotional. So I flew over there for 2 weeks, and we didn't, as I said, we didn't know whether or not we'd be playing the Vic Open this year, because I wasn't going to come and defend our pairs title if it wasn't with him. Yeah, and it's just a great person.
Well, you're a good mate. You're a good mate in his corner with him, because that's part and parcel how you know, he'll take a lot of solace out of that there was somebody there to support him as well, and he's come out of that in fine form and delivered a game like that. Like, that was just top shelf. There was no luck about anything Lee did then. Everything he did was precision, precise. I'll tell you what, as good as you'd want to see.
I'll put it on the tote at about $1 that Lee has gone out the gates straight away for a cigarette.
Absolutely.
He always says after a good game of singles, straight out for a cigarette, gets him in the mood for the next game.
Do you reckon he's as short for going out for a smoke as what he'll be to take out this title if he gets into the final?
Well, he's got to face Matty Flapper now, which is
and that'll be a revenge match. He'll want to give a hell of a lot better of account of what he did last year than himself. He'd be embarrassed by that last year compared to what he showed there.
Well, I won't say too much, but I know he wants to win it. I know Matty's a great player, and obviously the singles winner of last year. So it's going to be an absolute ripper game.
Geez, I hope they both turn it on like that was Lee's display then. Like that, I'd be. I'll tell you what, we ought to go and drag every person off the streets in Shepparton to come and watch it, because they won't see two better players going at it if they both bowl like that.
Yeah, well, no disrespect for Flapper here, but I'm going to back me mate in
and
to win the whole thing.
So you should.
And I'd like to think we could sneak the triples in tomorrow, and hope all the best to Lee and Gale in the mixed pairs also.
So we've just switched over here, just on the adjoining rink. We're just getting towards the closing stages now of Mitch Sidebottom versus Ben Hubbard. Now, this is a semi-final. Now, with that game, with the Schraner game finishing a little early, we might just show you the closing section of this. We've just managed to change our camera over now. Mitch Sidebottom up 18-9 here, so...
Benny Hubbard's just played a beauty.
Ben Hubbard has just played a beauty.
Mitchy Sidebottom goes by the nickname of Moo back home in Bendigo. No one knows why, but he goes by the nickname of Moo.
Something to do with cows?
Well...
Milking shed?
I'm not entirely sure, but a cousin of Steel Sidebottom, Mitch is. Similar size in height, I would say, between the two of them.
He's a big unit, Mitch Sidebottom.
Oh, yeah.
He certainly is a big unit.
Just the one.
Both these players have had a great tournament so far.
So we'll stick with this game for a little while. We have a little bit of time up our sleeve, so we'll stick with this.
Benny Hubbard was in pretty good form this morning, Guy, or just after lunch actually, about 12 o'clock, wasn't it? We started that game.
He was fantastic. The game against Matthew Robertson of Benalla, the quarter final, which we showed as our first game. He was fantastic. He was